So hello friends, today's topic is file systems versus DBMS. So in previous video, we learned about DBMS and its various functionalities. But a question arises, which system was being used for storing the data before the birth of DBMS? So the answer to this question is they used file systems, which is also being used by the operating systems of our system. So we can understand file system by taking a simple example that you have stored some data in a file which is being stored on your hard disk. Now, if your friend wants to access that data, he needs your permission. But this in the case of DBMS. The DBMS uses a client-server architecture, which means your data is being stored on a centralized location which can be accessed by anyone, anywhere. So there are some advantages of DBMS over file systems, which we will quickly be looking into it. So I have written some information which I just explained to you. So let's just quickly get into it. So file systems versus DBMS. Before DBMS, we used file systems to store our data. But nowadays we are using client-server architecture, which means your data is being stored on any centralized location and is used by all the users all over the world. Okay, so now there are some points, or we can say advantages of database over file systems. So let's quickly get into it. So the first point is inconsistency of data. So data is said to be inconsistent if it is copied at many places and multiple copies of same data does not match with each other. Now to understand this, we will take an example that there is a student in university who has registered his phone number in two different files. One is account section and second is academic section. Now if these two values do not correctly match the exact value of that phone number of that student, then this data is said to be inconsistent, which I have written over here. The phone number is different in account section and academic section, so it is inconsistent. Yes, it can maybe because of typing errors in the file. Now the second point is difficult to access. A user should know the exact location of the file to access the data, which is very tedious process. Again, we can take an example that you have to access the data of a student who is living in hostel, but from an unsorted data of 1,000 students. So it is very tedious task for you to do so. But in database, you can simplify the select query and can access the data of that student. Okay. Now third point is unauthorized access. In file system, any unauthorized person can access your data, but in database, you can limit the access of your data. So which I have written over here. File system may lead to the unauthorized access of data, but in DBMS the access can be limited. Okay. Now in fourth point, there is no concurrent access. In file systems, the data can only be accessed once by only one user only. But as in DBMS, it uses client-server architecture, so your data is being stored on a centralized location and it can be accessed by anyone, anywhere. Okay. Fifth point is no backup and recovery. Now suppose your file is being deleted or being corrupted, so that cannot be recovered or cannot be backed up. But in DBMS, as it has been stored on a centralized location, you can back up or you can recover your data anytime. Sixth point is redundancy of data. We can understand redundancy by taking an example that there's a student who's studying in a university and has to update his phone number. Okay, now if he needs to update the phone number, he needs to update that phone number in all the files where his phone number is being registered. Okay, so this is what redundancy of data mean. But in DBMS, or you can say database, you can simply fire a update query and your data will be updated everywhere where it is being registered. Okay. So okay guys, this was all for this video, and I am making this notes for you guys only, and I will surely be linking it in the description box. So please kindly show your support by subscribing this channel, and you can also share this video with your friends if you find it helpful. This actually motivates me a lot for creating more such videos for you guys. So okay, I will meet you in next video. So till then, stay tuned, keep learning and keep exploring. Thank you.